what I think is even more important uh, than the crash ratings is part 3 of the jargon, which is the penetration ratings. The penetration rating is measured by how far the vehicle traveled once it's encountered the barrier from a specific point on the vehicle to a specific point on the barrier. And these have changed over the years. So we'll talk about that all in a little bit. With DOS, you had penetrations of L1, L2, and L3. And with ASTM, you had penetrations of P1, P2, P3, and P4. Ironically enough, this portion of the technical jargon is where I like to spend most of my time when I'm talking to architects and engineers, because this is most often left out of all the specifications that I read, or I won't say all, about all the specifications I read and cause for a lot of concern, because not defining this portion of the specification often results in the installation of the wrong product for the area it's intended to protect. Again, don't worry about all these numbers that are sitting on the screen. We'll dig into more of that in a little bit. So as if part 1, part 2, and part 3 are not enough, now you've got to know what the classification of the barrier I'm using, such as crash tested, engineered, designed / rated. And I just added the rated today because of something I just read on another specification, and certified. Which one of these do you need? Which one is the right one? Manufacturers use these classifications as a way to build trust or confidence in the barrier that they're trying to tell you, trying to sell you and trying to tell you will work. Crash rated doesn't necessarily mean that it passed the test in the way that you would want it to, but we'll get into that one just in a little bit. Engineered is generally basically a professional engineer or an engineering company will take a design of a barrier, run calculations, or even possibly an FEA, and tell you that it'll stop the vehicle at a certain weight and speed and penetration without running an actual test. Designed is simply that. Somebody with the experience in the industry has designed a barrier that they believe will work. However, they didn't have the barrier tested or even engineered. They just designed it. And finally, certified, which means you took the barrier that you designed to a test lab, such as CalSpan, and you installed the barrier based on the design drawings and hit it with a vehicle and had the results documented. In my opinion, and I realize there's a ton of different views on this, but from a consulting standpoint and recommendations to my customers, first is always certified. However, I will every now and then go to an engineered version if a manufacturer, for instance, has a certified M50P1 barrier that has been crash tested and passed the test. Engineering that down to an M30P1 and running calculations based off that test data are a pretty good indicator that it's going to work. The other two, crash tested and designed, I just don't ever recommend them. I don't know what's going to happen with the system when it's actually put in place.